women going crazy over men ignoring them, guys. Real men ignoring these chicks. Real men ain't got time to play their game. Real men is not chasing them. And they can't seem to wrap their head around what's going on because society told them to look like this and do this and they'll get a man. And the men that they want is dead ignoring them because they done made themselves into a whole shit turd, yo. So guys, if you out there chasing women, speaks for volumes in what type of person you are, man.
The more that I'll say, the less you know, because our today's topic of discussion has deepened its roots so immensely that it is nearly impossible to break it down in one sitting. But don't worry, your gentleman's ladder is here and we will climb as high as we can to explain the importance of having the upper hand in a relationship, or even better, abstaining yourself from being available to these gold diggers to actually become a high-value man. One thing I am positive about is that every single woman despises it when it's a man's choice to go his own way. What it is exactly that causes men to put an end to romantic involvement is something most women would prefer you not to do. Specifically, a female could be in a long-term committed relationship, or on a rooster carousel, and they'll all keep trying to shame or persuade you into returning to the plantation. Also, why do women lose their minds when men choose not to keep relationships and focus on living independently? Well, I have an answer that will explain how your ability to flee is one of your greatest strengths as a man. It's common knowledge that men have the upper hand in relationships, while women have the upper hand in sex. Fairly, it has always been, so women can't stop worrying about the risks of putting their commitment to a relationship on the line. Have you noticed that women are always trying to get you to commit more to them? Why? Because women have this innate sense that they can benefit from you more than from any other structures of interpersonal connections. Consider the interplay of a sugar daddy and a sugar baby. In this dynamic, for instance, the sugar daddy is the person who controls all of the pleasures and deeds. She has no legal standing to expect anything from him because he broke his promise to marry her. Moreover, he is free to exchange her at any time for a replacement young tail. She is
crazy. Absolutely crazy. She is sending nude photos, allegedly, of this man to his friends, to different colleagues that he has, to his employers. She's applying for jobs in his name, sleeping outside of his house, saying, follow me back, talk to me. Come on, can we get that old thing back? Hell no.
is more dependent on him than he is on her. Now let's do a 180 and examine couples who are happily committed. So, when a man chooses to be with a woman, he effectively gives up his power to her because he needs her to get his willy wet, which gives her power in the relationship since she's expected to be the one to do the wetting, the one and only source of that delicious treat. Keep in mind that women are the sex consent gatekeepers and they will not give you consent to totally knock them backward. If this is the case, then you have no right to physically contact her. Yes, sir, if you have made a commitment to a woman, especially in marriage, she now has the power to withhold sex from you at her discretion. But in a normal relationship, she can't do anything because neither of you has much at stake in a normal relationship, so she can't really exert much control over you. So, in order for a woman to manipulate a man, he must either care about the woman, have a relationship with the woman, or have no other means of obtaining sex beside the woman. Once men have leverage and options over women, they know there is no peace league game they can play that will work. They yearn for relationships so much because, without those three things, they have nothing left to use as leverage over men. Yes, brothers, there you have it. Now listen carefully. If you're in a monogamous relationship, you should try to see that she is the only person you're supposed to have sex with because you care about her and have formed a bond with her. Therefore, she will always have the upper hand. But if we refer back to the sugar daddy dynamic, where he uses his money and doesn't care about the woman, isn't in a committed relationship with her, and doesn't need her for sex. To return to our original point, women go crazy over men who go their own way because they have no negotiating power with men who don't want to deal with women. Keep in mind that a mother's first and foremost concern is the safety of her newborn child. Mothers are biologically programmed to protect infants, not adolescents. As a result, their protective instincts diminish as their children mature, and women can't make it in this dangerous world without men's protection. They need shelter, food, and clothing if they're going to feel safe, and if they get pregnant, they'll be able to keep the baby and provide for it. Because I know damn well that most men wouldn't take care of a woman who isn't a member of their immediate family if sex wasn't involved. I want you to see that all relationships are transactional by nature. This love and romance BS that people try to push always goes back to transactional relationships. Let's face facts and admit that all relationships between men and women are transactional. In 99.9% of encounters, women won't give away sex for free to every man she deals with, because they are unable to coax any sort of response from you. Women view men who choose to abandon their partners and relationships as a threat to their very existence. They can't let men go their own way because without men's support, most women even today wouldn't be able to make it without the help of the state if they were to become economically independent. Because most women are terrible with money and many lack the drive and ambition to go chase the bag until retirement age. You should never think that these pusses are winning. Now they need either someone to give them the money to retire, or someone to keep them alive and care for them when they are old and unable to do so. I have said it 100 times and will repeat it again. Modern-day women who carry the notions of feminism are nothing but hypocrites. Gentlemen, this is correct, and it summarizes what I was expressing earlier. However, diving more into the concept of womanism, I am able to state with absolute certainty that women are their own worst enemies, and most of the time, they are the primary cause of why they end up having difficulties later in life. Many men have the desire to be with women, but when women ruin men in the family courts, they take away their resources and kids, designating them as predators who need to be locked away. Only then will you appreciate the significance of being on your own and not having to answer to anyone. Individualism is one of the most important attributes for a dominating man to have. The sooner you come to the conclusion that being around women will do nothing but damage to your sanity, the better. Because doing so will not only spare you needless drama and unwanted emotional baggage, but it will also spare you the resources that you have worked so hard to acquire. In conclusion, I want to impart to you guys that you should never let anyone shame you or try to bring you back to the plantation. This is especially important to remember if the person trying to lead you back is a monkey, simp, or woman. Do what you want with your life if you genuinely want to opt out and live for yourself. Also, keep in mind that you are the only person who will have your best interests at heart. Other people are sad and want other people to be miserable as well. Always keep in mind that nobody will ever love you as much as you will love yourself, and you should never forget this.